Stunneramaville, another day, another perching on a beanbag. It's good to be back.
Another day, another making an Airbnb look like it's quasi vibes.
It's quasi vibes. We've coordinated outfits. We look bold. I'm wearing a bold electric blue.
We do. Sammy has a gorgeous face of makeup on and I said, I just can't be bothered.
And if that ain't the end of Fringe, I said to Mel though, when I was doing my foundation, I was like, I feel like I'm on the 11th layer of foundation today. You just keep painting and painting and painting. But hey.
When you keep going and you go, it's kind of like mascara theory. And you're like, this can't be it.
This can't be it.
Doing my makeup for half an hour, so why don't I look more awake?
100%.
I'm tired.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. We've closed our show.
We've closed
in Adelaide.
It feels so weird having recorded a few days before we opened and now recording when we're done. It's like, oh, you guys have missed our entire season.
100%.
Because of like the way timing has worked out.
But we will be filling you in later on in the episode. We've got a little thing planned.
Yes, where obviously this ep is going to be packed with fringe chats to a life, chatting about our life in Adelaide and what we've been up to with the show, how it's all been going, etc.
One thing that has changed in this last week is we do sit in front of you as academics.
If
we look a little bit more academic to you, you would be correct. You're on the money, because Mel and I delivered our first ever lecture/workshop as experts in the field of Cabaret. And it was bloody brilliant.
It was epic. We went
really
into
fun.
the Elder Conservatorium of Music in Adelaide, which is where we learnt from our mates afterwards, who we were chatting to a few days after, that school has always been kind of like a classical institution for years and years and years and years.
Yep.
And they have this music theatre course that is about 8 years old, I believe. And they do a cabaret assignment in third year. And we got a little message being like, would you want to come in and chat to us about, you know, tips and tricks and do like a little lecture and a workshop? And we were like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Put aside that imposter syndrome. The answer is yes.
Yeah. And when we were doing our prep, we both went, can we really deliver a workshop like this? Like, we've both got experience in teaching and education and working with kids and delivering classes. So I wasn't nervous about that side, but I was like, what content are we going to cover? And then, like good little jiglets, we sat at our laptops, piddled away for a while and then shared our notes with each other. And I went, holy shit, we know a lot about writing a cabaret. And it was really fucking fun.
It was really cool, wasn't it? I feel like we both went, as you do, like so often, the imposter syndrome of it all. And we went, literally, let's just free take notes for 15 minutes about things that come to our mind, about things we could talk about. And then we'll share notes and discuss. And we literally, after our, we started doing 15 minutes and then both of us were just silently tapping away for like half an hour, 40 minutes of like sheets and pages of tips and tricks. And then we were like, we really do know so much about cabaret writing, which is a really cool thing to feel.
And we went in on one of the hottest days in Adelaide, and we piddled on into a beautiful, grand lecture hall with a piano and rows of seats. They came in, they sat down, and then Mel and I delivered our workshop with this energy. Hey guys, whenever you're ready, just notebooks out and we're going to get started. So just checking in with you guys, how far into your cabaret writing process you haven't started? Easy as. And we were chill.
So fucking chill, man.
Chill as a cucumber. It was fantastic. But we did laugh about it when we got them to take a break in the middle, trying to get them back from a break. Not that we can't hold a room, and we absolutely could have gone in with a bit more gusto, but it was us trying, because they're like, they're 21, 22, and we both have complexes about being cool and young. So I'll speak for myself. And we're sitting there and then we're basically going, hey guys, whenever you're ready and it feels good for you and your soul and heart and mind to maybe wind down and stop those chats, 100%, man. Come over and we'll maybe, but not to be annoying, get started on the next section. It was really funny.
It was very, very sweet. It was funny afterwards as well, because a bunch of the students then came to Platonic Human Centipede, our show afterwards.
Yeah.
That was also a psycho turnaround.
Yeah.
We were like sprinting from the Adelaide Conservatorium of Music to our show with like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like like in between. And then a bunch of them came to the show afterwards, and we were chatting to a few of them after the show, and a bunch of the students were like, yeah, it was also just really nice to have people who were like our age just talking to us back and forth. And it was us being like, yes, we certainly are 21 as well.
100%. It was so stupid. It's us sitting there going, all right, so we're going to talk about the rule of threes, and we're going to talk about surprise in a song. So you'll know Mel and I have a song called Where's Wally? And, Wally comes out and it's a lament to loneliness. I can't find myself. I'm trapped in this picture book, like, where am I in the world? What's going on? And then at the bridge, we really hit them because we go, when Madeleine McCann went missing, everyone said, where is Madeleine McCann? And it's us delivering these stupid lyrics in an academic style whilst they're all like, and we're like, write down Madeleine McCann. And they're like, Madeleine McCann for bridge.
Us giving these like earnest comedy writing tips, and then the examples we give being like, absolutely, because in our opening song of our current show, the rules of threes, we go, eat my ass, eat it. Eat my ass, eat it. And then on the third time, we go, not like yum, more like love you. And that's really where it really turns around for the audience.
It was so cute.
Stupid.
We did some like writing activities with them all, which was really, really fun. And something I genuinely would have loved when I was in uni to do, just to kind of spark creativity. And, Mel gave them an activity where you write down a bunch of different characters and then you have to come up with an answer to a different prompt. So like, it might be like a character who thinks that they're a blah, or a character who actually believes that blah. And so we were filling in the blanks, and then at the end they're sharing, and one girl's like, for mine, I did Cinderella, but if she was a jam donut. And then Mel and I just looked at each other and we're like,
goosebumps.
We were like, the school of Mel and Sam is infiltrating its way through the masses. Yes, Cinderella is a jam donut. Yes, a paperclip can be cunty. Thank you for coming to our lecture. So if you see any wackadoo cabarets in the next 10 years, we shaped them, man.
Know where it's begun,
No, that's so egotistical.
I'm kidding.
But it was so much fun.
It was so much fun. We've just had the most gorgeous time in Adelaide, like overall, I would say.
Yep.
We're going to launch into telling you all about our season, obviously, but it's kind of funny timing because now we're done and we're in this like, we're tired space.
Yeah.
But we had this gorgeous day the other day, yesterday. It was one of our mates' birthdays, and it was so the perfect wind down day. What did we do? We started the day by getting a coffee, and then we went on a hike. Adelaide is also the only city I feel like I'm like, what do you mean that this is a city centre and a 5-minute drive away?
Genuinely 5 minutes.
There's like forest, hikes, koalas in trees, kookaburras flying above. Like, it was just wild. We went on this gorgeous hike. It was like definition of like being in nature and like feeling your nervous system like reset.
Yep.
It was like a gorgeous hike. Like I sat for like, at one point I was like, guys, I've kind of had my fill. Like you guys keep going. I'm going to sit here. And I just like meditated for like 20 minutes on my own, like in the bush. It was just heaven.
Yep. And my thing with hiking is I go up like the strength of an Iron Man, and then I go down like the slowness of literally the tortoise and the hare if they were both the slowest they possibly could be. My shins have the structural integrity of tissue paper. So I'm going down like...
Shin rights.
Impossible. Couldn't do it. Literally going down like this. And they're like, you good, Sam? I'm like, yeah. And I hate like holding up the group. So I'm like trying to like speed it through.
No, that was me on the way up as well because I struggle on the way up. Balance, man. And my inner monologue's like, don't fall over, don't fall over. Only twisted my ankle slightly once. Yeah, there's nothing more. I was feeling the exact same on the way up. I'm literally like, Mel, keep going. Don't slow down. Don't let them see that you might be a little more tired than they are.
It's so thing, but it was beautiful. And then we came back and we went to the pool, which was gorgeous. And then we went out for a gorgeous boozy dinner.
Guys, you do not understand.
Server.
In Adelaide. Service delivered at this restaurant. We are two gals who do not write Google reviews, and yet we walked out of that restaurant and went, tell them what you wrote.
Yeah, first I gave an in-person review. As we were walking out, the guy was called Ethan because we got to know him by name because he was a legend.
Doxlet, he's a star.
He's an absolute star, sorry. As we're walking out, I go, who's the manager here? And this lady goes, me. And I go, he is fantastic. He was a brilliant server, and I'm not just saying that. I don't say this often. Honestly, he went above and beyond. We are so happy with the service. He went bright red and he's standing there and the manager goes, good on you. And we left him a Google review.
Everyone, if you live in Adelaide, please go to Part-Time Lover, the restaurant. It was life-changing. It was a life-changing meal. We're going to unpack some of the things he did. Number one, he walks over. He's like, all right, guys, we're here for a special occasion. Like, what's it? And I know what you're thinking. You know the hospitality deal where you're like, I get it. Like, this is like the hospitality vibe. We all know what this is. It wasn't performative. It was real. It
real.
Came from his heart.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like, tell me. Like, where are we all from? Like, are we celebrating anything? We go, yeah, a birthday. And then he brings out a free round of drinks for everyone after double checking as well, being like to Sam, like, because Sam ordered a non-alcoholic first drink, being like, are you not drinking at all tonight? Fully sober? Or what's the deal? And Sam goes, yeah, not drinking at all. And then I got into protective best friend mode. Then I was like, have they fucked it? Have they put alcohol in my wife's drink? Because I will cause a scene. And anyway, then we were about to ask him what happened. Then he brings out this free round of drinks. He's like, just kidding. Like, this is what I was preparing. Brings Sam a non-alcoholic version.
Fully, like, gorgeous cocktail.
Like, fully a cocktail. Brings out a surprise, like, sparkler in a cake that nobody organised.
Yep.
Nobody organised that. And then we're, like, chatting about, like, our fringe show. We're chatting about where we're from, what we're doing, our mates who are from the UK, the fact that they were here, the fact that their show's still going. It's giving active listening skills. This waiter brings out the bill. He goes, here's the bill whenever you're ready. Also, here's a special note we wrote for you. Turns the bill over. He goes, it's personalised. Each of you at the table has a special little note. And he goes, you got to go around this way, left to right. And left to right, it was like, we hope that you have a great rest of your fringe season. We hope that you have a great last show of your fringe season. And then when it got to me and Sam, it was like, congratulations on finishing your fringe season. I was just like, what do you mean?
What do you mean? I feel like we got special service and I don't know why. But at the same time, that restaurant, I asked them, I was like, do you have a sister restaurant in Melbourne? And they're like, no. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I really want to go there in Melbourne. Yeah. But hey, it exists only in Adelaide.
It was incredible.
And that's the beauty. So that's us kind of, that's been our week, but we're going to do a real deep kind of questionnaire to each other.
Yeah.
Kind of like Spotify Wrapped, but tour wrapped, fringe wrapped.
Yeah. To give you guys like an overall picture of like everything that's happened in our fringe run season that is like worth talking about.
Yep. So let's get on to that right
let's
now.
Do it. I wrote some of my questions down because I'm a little loser.
Ditto.
Okay, what was my first question for you? And we don't know what the other person's asking, obviously.
Also, if you're a new fan that's a new fan, you wouldn't be a new fan. You'd be a new person soon to become fan. If you're a new person listening to the pod post, maybe you've come across from the Cabaret episode or you've just started listening because you've come to our fringe show, welcome to Ratbag and Rat Food.
Welcome.
Rat Food is where we're a little bit more loose. We're often on the road or on tour. It's more kind of what's going on in the week, going on in pop culture, our worlds. So it's a bit more loose. And then Ratbag is a bit more whiz-bang, spectacular segments, neon lights behind us on a set.
Neon galore.
But we're very happy that you're here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Also, if you're listening to the pod and you're like, fringe, what's the deal? I don't really understand. Like, if you're like a big music theatre fan or you're like more of a like comedy fan but not in fringe world.
Or you don't do any of that and you work in a bank.
Briefly, like the swiftest explanation ever, being involved in a fringe festival is kind of like these festivals happen kind of all over the world. They're often what they call open access festivals, which means that anyone can do a fringe show as long as a venue says, yes, you can do your show here. Anyone can be a part of the festival.
And often venues as well are not just your classic like black box theatres. There'll be bars that will turn themselves into a performance space or people open up their houses or restaurants. And so it's kind of, that's the fringe experience as well.
Yeah.
It's all kind of opens up and comes apart like a picture book
100%.
For like 1 month a year. Go on.
Fringe is just like a big part of Sam and I's kind of career together because that's where a lot of like comedies and cabarets often happen around the world. So, you know, last year we were in Edinburgh doing Edinburgh Fringe and we go around and do all the fringes in Australia as well.
And Adelaide Fringe is the second biggest in the entire world.
Second biggest fringe in the world.
It's incredibly, and I say this with positivity, it's a really saturated market. There's so many shows from all across the world. And Adelaide, the city itself, like lights up and everyone goes to the fringe.
It's the best.
The people that wouldn't usually go and see a theatre show are going to a random clown show at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday night and it's brilliant.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Well, we've wrapped our Adelaide Fringe, so it's time for Tour Diaries questionnaire wrapped in review. God, what's it called? I've given it 10 names.
It's called Let's Chat the Week Gone.
The week that's been.
Do you want to start?
I do. I have a question for you, and I guess I can answer it too if I have an answer. Mel O'Brien, your Adelaide Fringe summarised with one meal.
Oh, it's got to be the meal from last night. Oh, it's got to be.
Yeah.
Part-time lover.
Part-time lover was life-changing.
Do you have one?
Mine would be, I'm going to dox them because they deserve it as well. McGill Dawn to Dusk Italian.
Oh.
I had the most life-changing chicken pasta from there that I, once again, wish was a chain restaurant so I could have it in Melbourne.
Welcome to our foodie pod where we only talk about food, apparently.
Yeah, the most non-relatable podcast, me going, I had a random pasta from a random place once. And I was like, yeah, that's really relatable and great to listen to on my way to work.
No, it's the way that we have to give the context, though. We were, when you're at the end of the night and you're like, I am starving. It was on a day where we had been really bad and hadn't eaten enough food and we were starving after the show, and it was one of those ones where we ordered it in the car in the hopes that it would arrive the very second we get home. It was perfect, and gotta say, it's a risk. It was a risk. We were going, fuck, we've never ordered from this place before. We each ordered a dish and each of the dishes were mind-blowing.
Piping hot. And we sat down and literally over Tupperware just ate, all of us eating, and then we rolled into bed like one piece of fettuccine.
And we also rolled up like single vertebrae at a time and then looked at each other and went, was that life-changing for anyone else?
Well, it's got to be life-changing with a name like Dawn to Dusk.
Dawn to Dusk.
They know what they're doing.
I got risotto, which is crazy for me.
That is crazy for you, but it was delicious.
It was delish.
So that would be my meal. Your question?
My question for you is, what is your favourite thing that you've seen at the Fringe this year so far?
My favourite thing that I've seen at the Fringe.
Or a show you've loved, and tell me a bit about it and why.
Mine is not specifically a show, but the hosting of a show.
Okay.
Ruby Teas.
Oh,
in alt girl world.
Talk on it, girl.
If you're not following Ruby Teas, what are you doing?
That's Ruby Teys.
Tropical MP3 is her Instagram name. She is the most whack woman I've ever come across, and I find her brain to be so brilliant and exciting. And the thing as well with like being in this industry for a while and seeing lots of shows is things start to get predictable. You go, I know where the joke is coming, I know where the punchline is, I know what's going to happen here. I never know where she is going.
I agree.
She hosted this alternative lineup, which basically started at like midnight till 1:45 a.m. in the morning.
It was like wild.
In a really wackadoo like bar. And I'm sitting there and I said to Mel, I was like, I would watch her do a 24-hour live stream of her life every single day.
100%.
She's so whack. And she comes out in this like clown collar, knee-high boots with like 20-inch heels. She's got these hectic lashes, so her eyes are looking all like droopy and like clowny and gorgeous. She's got bright bedazzled eyeshadow on, just like her tits in these like bras with this massive star, and she comes out and I'm just watching her and I'm just going, I love her so much.
Yeah, she's unreal.
She's absolutely fucking crazy and I
She's
love
amazing.
her.
Sam also said, she was like, don't you reckon she'd be the perfect person to watch on Big Brother? And I was like, oh, that's a perfect call by you.
Yeah, I was about to like say other artists that she's like, but I can't.
And that's kind of the whole point. That's the hottest thing.
Yep.
She's so whack and weird and turbo. She did a show in last year's comedy festival called Dog Cunt that Sam and I sat there and watched it and we were like, we feel like we're in another universe. What the hell? It's also so fringy.
She's so fringe.
It's the perfect fringe vibe to go watch something and go, what the fuck did I just watch? But also, why did it make all the sense in the world? She's also, if you're looking for a Melbourne rec, Ruby Teas is also doing her show in Melbourne.
Yeah.
It's now the name of it is something about Cheryl and Showgirl. I'm going to get the exact title. Yep. Here it is. It is called A Night with Cherry Vinyl.
Yep.
So you go see that in Melbourne. It's coming to Melbourne after Adelaide for Melbourne Comedy Festival. So go see our show and go see hers.
Yeah. It was just so good. And watching that lineup as well, I was like, yes, a night for alternative comedy, a night for stuff that's like that deliberately like breaks what comedy should be, that's ugly, that's weird, that's wacky. That her hosting was just phenomenal. And I said, that show, I was like, it was such a late night time slot that people like could have gotten really tired, but she was just such a brilliant host. That would be mine. You?
I love that. Mine is a show called Smut. Smut the show, which is an unbelievable, also late night, like burlesque, kind of like strip adjacent. I don't know what you would call it. It's like it's like kind of adjacent to a sex show, I guess.
Yep.
But it features an entire lineup of people who are sex workers, who are working in like burlesque and in dance and in like all of those fields. It was just unbelievable. It's curated and run by a very dear mate of ours, Juniper Fox.
We love you, Juniper.
We love Juniper, who's a sex worker and dancer from Naarm, based in Naarm. And they also do these shows in Naarm. So also if you're a Melbourne person, go down to see them. They're unbelievable. It was just a night of absolute like skill, talent, refinery, like everything was just on. Everyone we have to talk about the one woman who was so iconic. There was the diversity in the lineup was unbelievable, first of all, which is like bar is on the floor, but you never see it. So it was incredible. There was this older woman who was a sex worker. She was in like her 60s, I want to say, 50s or 60s maybe.
And apparently she's an icon of burlesque. She's been around for a while.
An icon of the scene. And she just came out and I literally was watching her. I was like, I want to be that when I'm older. She was so cool. The act started and she was kind of like, excuse me, is this the beauty pageant? Is this the beauty pageant? And then it just like turned into this like incredible like kind of like strip show where she took everything off, but she was so like grotesque and like female gazy. She was wearing this like, she grabbed her undies and like put them like, it was just like fucking with the form and fucking with what you think strip and sex shows look like and need to be. She like grabbed like the hip bits of her undies and like yanked them up like her pussy, like, put them on her shoulders, and then so it was like a huge wedgie, and she had this like pantyhose sock thing over her face so that like her like nose went up like a pig's nose, and it was just so weird, so fringe, so wacky, and so hot.
And the night was that perfect combination of refined skill, but loose, riff-raff, high energy. The room, like the tent was about to bowl over with just energy and people whooping and clicking and clapping. It was absolutely phenomenal. So if you're ever around when a smut show is on, go. It's the perfect night out. Like it's so true definition of like a night out.
Yeah. And it was so like deeply queer, like deeply femme, like almost everyone on the lineup was like not a man, which we love. But it was just unbelievable, representation and just skill, refinery.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Thank you, babe. I have a question for you.
Please.
Did you have any like fuck ups? Tell everyone if you had any fuck ups on stage, anything like that to report.
Yes. It's the classic thing of when you've been doing a show for a while, you can get a bit like, I know it. And then sometimes you find yourself not thinking ahead or not being fully present, or you just have fringe brain and you just say a sentence, you're like, that wasn't the lyric.
Yeah.
There's a lyric in when I play Charlie Bucket for our Charlie and Wonka finale. And the lyric is simple. It is this: so then I packed my crumpler bag and moved into your mansion. That's the lyric that I sing. Mm-hmm. And I literally did this. So then I wrapped my drumpler stag and wrapped into the ranching. And I just went, what? And what's really funny is obviously our audience is hearing this for the first time. So a lot of the time they're not going to go, I know that song, you fucked the lyrics. But it's them going, so then I wrapped my sampler rag and wrapped into the stanchion. And they're looking at me and I'm looking at them, and I just know that I'm like, I just have to keep going. But sometimes you have that fear of the second you fall off the bike, it's like, how long am I going to be off the bike before I get back on? But I just managed to find it back. But it really was a sentence of complete zoom, zoom, zoom. My brain just actually turned off.
Fringe brain supreme.
Yeah. Did you have a fuck up?
I had a real... Oh, well, there was one night so, fun fact about me, everyone. I have terrible eyesight and I do not wear my glasses or contact lenses ever. Yep. And I should be wearing them 24/7. Now, backstage at a fringe show where we have all our costumes and props lined up in a little row, in our little piles, and we have 2 seconds to get changed between each song. And I put down my microphone, and then I was like, when I was meant to be on the stage to do this next song, and I was like, now... I cannot find my microphone for the life of me. My microphone fully disappeared, and I had to say from backstage, I like screamed out from backstage. I was like, Sam, I can't find my microphone. Pretty sure it was opening night too. We had like reviewers in and stuff. And it was very sweet. I know in one of the reviews we got, like one of the comments was like, one of the highlights was like seeing Mel and Sam's like chemistry and banter when things like went wrong. Classic. And that was very funny. And because Sam's my wife, she found it almost immediately with that beautiful 2020 vision of hers.
2025, the year that Mel starts either wearing contacts or glasses on stage.
Do you know what my thing is? Oh my God, on stage, no. It doesn't ruin the
We
look.
just get contacts.
Contacts, but I hate they make my eyes dry.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
need to get glasses. Actually, if anyone knows of like a cunty place to get sleigh glasses frames. Specsavers for me, it's not hitting it. Bailey Nelson, it's not hitting. I want really cool, I was about to say really like high fashion glasses, but that's
not silly.
actually the dream. Because the reason that I don't is because I feel like they're not sleigh enough. And I've never found glasses that are sleigh enough. That's the challenge. If you know of cool glasses, send them my way.
Yeah.
I had another ultimate fringe brain moment.
Tell me.
About a few shows in, we went, oh my God, our acknowledgement of country hasn't been playing. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is like the worst thing ever.
We spiraled.
We spiraled. We were like, oh my God, I'm so deeply embarrassed. That is so not good enough. There is no way that we would ever let a show of ours go up without an acknowledgement of country happening first. And then literally we like messaged our tech panickedly and was like, Smurf. Oh my God. Our tech's name is Smurf.
We just, we had to, good disclaimer.
Me going, Smurf, our acknowledgement of country hasn't been playing. Our acknowledgement of country hasn't been playing. We have to amend this immediately. And he literally responds, he's like, no worries. Like, I'll look into it. And then he literally was like, yes, it has. And we were like, oh yeah, it has. It was one of those things I was like, where did that thought even come from? It has been playing every night. But when you're just tired and you're running on cornflakes and a bit of glittery eyeliner 100%. And not much else.
Cornflakes and glittery eyeliner is so correct.
That's so French.
It's us last week going, our tips for tour, eat well, yeah? And us going, anyway, I was having my bowl of cornflakes and I went, fuck, this track is broken. That's a very good fringe brain moment. I had a fringe brain moment as well.
Oh yeah?
When we were... So we're sharing, often there's like shared performance spaces. You have a few tents kind of arse end into each other. And so the anus of each tent kind of meets and all the performers hang out and drink from the water cooler. It's fucking vibes as. And I'm hanging out and we were chatting to two of the girls that play Sharon Strzelecki and Kim in the Fountain Lakes parody musical. Kath and Kim, my favourite TV show of all time. We're chatting, vibing for like a few nights. Like they would often be going on when we were going on. So we're like, hi, chookers, good luck, vibes. They come in on the final night out of costume and we're chatting to them and we're like, would you like a cap each? Because we've got some merch and we were just feeling vibes with them. Like, please have a cap. Like, we'd love you to have a cap. And they're like, oh, great. Chatting for a good... I would say
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Vibes. Oh, these people are legends. Lovely. And then this was our closing night. And then I go, oh my God, you two, would you mind? Can you please pass on 2 caps to the girls that play Kim and Sharon Strzelecki?
Because we've really been vibing with them.
And they just go, that's us. And I'm like, oh, that's really perfect. And then I went, please, I'm so embarrassed. You have to know that right now I'm like a kid and the fact that you're not in a wig and a dressing gown, I'm like, you're a different person. So that was kind of embarrassing and that was my fringe brain moment. I'm also, if I'm on like a weird angle, it's because I'm trying to escape the light that's hitting my face.
The sun is sunning.
The sun is sunning. Okay, Mel.
Yes.
Finish this sentence. For me, it wouldn't be tour without blank.
Oh my God. It wouldn't be tour without, for me, it would not be tour without falling asleep on my bed with every single light on in the room, me fully dressed, me full face of makeup on, falling asleep like this, on the bed in the Airbnb.
That's fantastic.
And often it comes from a gorgeous place. I often like to let everyone shower first when we get home because we got 1 shower, 5 people staying in the house. This is when it's happened on tour this time. It's not been because I'm lazy with my makeup. I'm a changed woman. I now like to wash my face properly. But every time I'm like, no, you guys go first. I'll just wait for you. Every time. What about
perfect.
You? It would not be fringe for me without...
It would not be fringe for me without a trip to Priceline and or Chemist Warehouse to buy a new perfume, to be like, this is the perfume of this festival.
Yes.
And I always don't want to spend a lot of money on it, so I always buy something that's effectively a body spray and I'll spritz it on me in the Uber and then go, 20 seconds later I'll go, the smell of fringe. Where's it gone? Where's it gone?
What's been your scent this season?
Thank you so much for asking. Viva la Juicy by Juicy Couture.
Beautiful.
But no, not eau de parfum. Eau de parfum, spray, water spray. Thank you, Chemist Warehouse. That is mine.
I love that.
Great.
We also have to tell you, so we've been selling these. We always love to do a bit of merch at our shows for people who want to like buy something or remember the show by. And we have these caps that say on the front of them, "Real friends eat ass," which is kind of like thematically linked to our show. But it did make me think about our cap story from last year that we've never told on pod.
Go for it.
If you've come to High Pony, our other show ever before, you would know this story. But I just had to share it if you don't
Please
mind.
go for it.
So last year, folks, we were making caps that we wanted to say the words "Babies are cancelled" for a song that we have in our show called "Babies Are Cancelled," which, to be clear, is a joke song all about how babies are lazy, babies aren't doing the work, they just sit in a pram, why aren't they voting, right? It's all like very, very silly.
Yep.
And we were like, that would be the perfect song to like have on some merch. People always really get around that song. And so we went onto our little online place where we like get embroidering done and stuff and get merch made. No word of a lie. We go, "Hello, we would like 500 Babies Are Cancelled caps." We receive an email back. "Dear Mel Sam, morally and ethically, we refuse to make these caps as they are considered hate speech and we cannot be making such items from our family-run business."
And we're going, they're not MAGA caps. It's not political.
Not MAGA caps.
This is not a political cap.
It was so funny, and I still have this screenshot on my computer of when we got the email through, and it said, "Babies Are Cancelled caps. Order cancelled."
The cancelled is so funny.
Like, it's so fucking meta by us, man.
It's so, and then when we went to Edinburgh and we tried to do a rush order, they didn't give a shit. They're like, "Yeah, babies are," they don't have Australian accents, but pop off. They're like, "Yeah, babies are cancelled caps, fucking pop off. Here's 500 as soon as you need them." But there's always a story with our embroiders. Even with this order that we made, we were like, "Hey guys, thank you so much. So-and-so. We
This
would
is
like
for the Real Friends Eat Ass caps.
the Real Friends Eat Ass caps. We would like 200 to be delivered to where we are staying. Thank you so
Not
much."
too many, just
Not too
200
many.
to sell in Adelaide.
And then Mel wakes up one morning. She's like, "Have the caps arrived?" I'm like, "I haven't heard a knock." And then I turn and look to the right and I go, and there is what could only be described as the Eureka Sky Deck level of boxes,
Mountains.
stacked. And I just go, "Oh, that's not 200. What the hell have they done? They've sent us like 600 caps." And I'm like, "Yeah, guys, totally. We're absolutely going to sell 600 caps here."
What are we going to do with 600 caps that say "Real
Friends eat ours. So, hey, they can't all be winners, but that's all right.
I have two final questions for you, Sammy.
Please, go for it.
One of them is, did you have any like gorgeous interactions after the show or anything that you want to share from like meet and greets or like cute interactions?
Absolutely. That's a very good one. We.
I know you're probably going to say the same one that I was going to say.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
We obviously from coming to Adelaide for the last few years, there's some people that we really get to know and who we hold very dear in our heart. And each time we're like, "It's you," and they're like, "It's you," and we have a big hug and it's all very gorgeous. Anyway, this actually wasn't post-show. This was as we were leaving our performance venue, Gluttony. We're like on our way. Post-show. We're on our way out and they're standing there and they go, "Mel, Sam," and we go, "Oh my God, hi." We come over, we give them a hug. "How are you going?" And then they're standing there and they go, "Look, I've just got to tell you something. Like, I just want to say, like, I love you both so much, and I just want you to know that, yeah, I think I've discovered, like, I'm a bit of a late life queer, and I really like appreciate your pod and the stuff you do because, yeah, I think I'm a little bit queer, and I love you guys."
I want
and
to say thank you for being like such a safe space for me, like as I'm coming into my queerness. Like, it was something I never really like knew about myself until recently. And
and then we're standing there, and I'm like, "God, that's beautiful," and then I just go. I'll just say their name's Jane. I just go, "Jane, I'm sorry. I love you so much. I really love that you're doing this right now," whilst they are literally decked out in a biker jacket and a biker helmet and like jorts and like shoes, and then they're standing there on their motorbike going, "Yeah, and I think I'm a bit of a late life queer."
Motorbike mounted.
And we're literally going, "The closet is glass, Jane. The closet is glass. Not that queer looks a certain way, of course we know that, but it was a really beautiful moment.
Really gorgeous. And then we were like laughing with her. She was being like, yeah, I probably should have known. We were like, yeah, do you think? While you're like, literally dyke on bike mode.
It was true dyke on bike coming out, and I'm going to hold so much space for this. Beautiful. But it was it was a gorgeous chat, and we all had a laugh.
We're going to wrap the episode because we're running out of time, but have to tell you guys about this one couple who comes to our show. Hope that you're listening, guys. Love you. We obviously won't use their real names. You guys will lose your mind at this. There is a couple who met at our show of No Hat, No Play, the Cabaret in Adelaide 4 years ago.
Yep.
They came to the show as a first date. They hit it off. It was like best date ever. They have now been together for 4 years. So now their anniversary every single time lands on when we're in Adelaide doing a show. And for every single anniversary, they come to a Mel Sam show. And every single year we get a little update on how their life's going. So like after the first year, they were like, it's us. Remember we met on a first date last year at a Mel Sam show. And now we've been together for a year and that's gorgeous. The year after it was like, we've moved in together. This year they were like, we now have 2 cats. And it's just like,
so
I could
special
cry every single year.
My brain can't even really fathom how special it is. But every year, like clockwork, if they're not there each Adelaide Fringe, it would feel like something's wrong.
Yeah.
Like it's they're literally the missing puzzle piece on the Mel Sam Adelaide Fringe puzzle board.
Literally.
Yeah.
I have one final question that's going to round us out.
Please.
It's a fun, like little hypothetical kick-ons-esque. Fucking hell, man.
Oh, this sun.
I know. Scoot on over, babe.
Yep, go for it.
Okay, here's my question. It's a really fun one.
Yeah.
Samantha, Andrew, if we broke up as a duo tomorrow and you had to create a Fringe show to do solo at next year's Adelaide Fringe, what would the show be? What would it be called? What would you be doing as a solo Fringe artist? No Mellow B by your side.
Okay, I think I have my answer because it's. I'm not saying it is the thing that I would do, but I understand we're on a time crunch. So this is what first came to my head. It would be me with a voice looper, and it would also incorporate verbatim recordings of people that would be half choral and half spoken. And it wouldn't be a comedy. It would be like a comedy light, but it would be something with a message. It would probably be queer. It would probably be about love and like life. It would be about life experience. You know what I mean? It would be like true tales from people. Yeah, personal anecdotes, personal stories interwoven with a voice looper. Yeah,
the end. That sounds spectacular.
Yeah.
Sorry for holding you back.
No.
It's the way that I'm like, I think we need that show now.
So next year, hey, come celebrate your anniversary at Loop de Loop, the best cabaret in town.
This is the breakup episode where I go, I think I'm holding you back.
What's yours?
I'm just going to talk off the top of my head because I haven't really thought about anything specific at all. I think I would do something quite like character heavy.
Yep.
I think I would do like something where I'm doing like lots of accents and lots of stupid. It's one of two things. I'd either do something really stupid, like almost clown-esque, clowny adjacent, but with like some music and stuff in it. I also would would challenge myself to do like maybe like a stand-up type thing, like clowny stand-up.
Yep.
Maybe with no music.
Yep.
The other world where like a Fringe show exists for me that's solo is like a more earnest route.
Yeah.
That's more like, I don't know what it would be thematically, but like just songs that speak to me and like, I don't know, some kind of storyline about me and like my real life as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know what.
I see earnest for both of us totally on the cards. We're little earnest girls deep down. We might be doing comedy, but you know, she's there. That's it.
What a beautiful little rap food.
That's Fringe wrapped.
That's Fringe wrapped.
And the crazy thing is we're kind of rolling straight on into tour, but back in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So Comedy Festival, we're coming for you. God, we'll bring our box of cornflakes and our
never
glittery
ends.
eyeliner and see you there.
See you there.
Thank you for listening to the app. If you're a new little jiglet that's come across from either Caris and or our shows, or you've just found us in your algorithm, we would love to have you for Ratbag as well on Monday.
Please stick around. Please like leave us a comment if there's like something that you really loved us talking about. We always love to get feedback knowing what like people like to hear about because at the end of the day we're just two little jiglets chatting about our lives. But rate the pod 5 stars if you haven't already and you love it. All of that stuff really helps. Like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube.
Yep.
That's kind of it. I loved that episode.
That was a great ep.
A little fringe wrap.
Yeah, go find us. We're at the Mel Sam on Instagram and TikTok, and that's all we have to say.
That's all.
We love you, Adelaide.
See you on Monday.
Bye.
Bye.
This is a Grouse House podcast.
Mel Sam would like to acknowledge that this podcast was created and recorded on stolen land.
The original custodians of this land have had a rich history of storytelling for over 65,000 years, and we pay our respects to the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, whose land we are making Ratbag on.
Treaties were never signed, sovereignty was never ceded, always was and always will be Aboriginal land.